All right, everybody, welcome back to CVO Crypto. We're going to be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, a couple of other altcoins as well. So on our last update, we were looking for essentially, Bitcoin re-entered this previous range pretty bearishly, closing daily candles within, and we expected it to cycle the entire range ultimately. That range basically has now been rotated, and I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here for you. Right, so we had essentially this was our range right here. So we had re-entered this range on a closing basis back here on the 6th of April. We had a couple of levels basically between the range high and the point of control coming in. We had a quarterly NPOC, we had a monthly and quarterly key level that came in as well. All of those, right, were short-term targets. So for example, they were these right here, and then a couple of NPOCs as well. So we had these two right here. So basically this huge cluster of price action right here was our short-term price targets on the way in. We lost our point of control and it basically just ran it down to the range low here. So what are we looking for in the short term here? So in a grand scale here, what I'm looking for personally is a possible reclaim of the point of control here of the overall range here, right? So about $42,000. And then from there, we're still looking up towards our range high, which does come in about $44,500. We do have an untapped weekly pivot, still looking up to about this $43,700 area. So that's still an area of interest for me. But until then, really, we really want to see how the reaction around this point of control does occur. So far we actually did hit the quarterly NPOC, which is now just a point of control at this point. Let's see if I throw it back up there for you real quick. Right, so right here, right, I'll take that off as NPOC because now that is just a point of control. But you can see that this is exactly where we basically rallied straight up to after perfectly touching off that bottom of the range low here, right? So one of the things too is that in the leading crypto Discord, right, we were looking for just this exact reaction. Granted, the fear was high the other night, right? This was on Monday night basically, or Sunday night going into Monday. And let me pull this up for you here. Right, so right here on yesterday at 12:25 in the morning, so once again, this was technically Sunday night, we were just about to that range low, right, which we were targeting essentially, right? So coming right into it, obviously we got our bounce from it, and essentially that's where we were right here. At the same time, we were coming into basically major support and basically quarterly range lows across the board for almost every altcoin that we were looking at the time. So granted, these were times where you could have broke the range low, could have went lower, but these times of major support are definitely where you want to be able to put on some risk, so to speak, right? So for example, you had things like one of them was Jasmy, which I know is kind of a smaller coin, but Jasmy was coming back into the point of control, which we were looking for quite a bit. Actually, a couple members did really well on this bounce right here over the weekend, and capitalized on I think Mark had did like 50% on Saturday when the rest of the market pretty much stood still. We had Matic, right, coming into the quarterly range low right here, right? So he came in right there. Essentially, so far, just from the range low itself, I mean, nothing crazy here, but everything's about up like 10-15% depending. You had Near taking a nice leg up there. One, right, basically bounced right off that range low right here. So all these, offered up some pretty decent small moves here, 13-14%. I mean, like I said, we put up a good 20 or 30 coins here, depending. You had Solana, came down to this daily level. Really want to see Solana get back out of this range. So we had actually re-entered a range here, very similar to how Bitcoin did. So far, we actually just broke out of it again. So really want to see this 104 hold as support, and then we'd be looking back up towards this monthly key level, April open, things of that nature there. Ethereum or Algo, let's take a look at Algo real quick too, because Algo is perfectly coming into a range low as well, as Bitcoin was making its move down, right? So we were covering this on a live stream the other day on YouTube, right? Magic Internet Money and myself. So if you're not following us on YouTube, do that as well. We do add all of our live streams, or at least mine, we throw on YouTube. We do a weekly live stream over there together. We covered this exact trade actually, where we just had that. So looking for the stop loss to go just below the lows here. We had our range low coming in right here, and even from that range low, entry level, you're looking at nothing crazy. I mean, like I said, everything's about 8 to 10%. Give or take from the low there. Looking up towards some of these other targets here, assuming that Bitcoin does continue higher. ETH, on the other hand, let's take a look at ETH real quick. ETH was struggling to get out of this range, right? So we actually did re-enter this range here for ETH, very similar to Bitcoin, right? And catching rejections. Ran it down to our target level, just about. I guess we front ran this just a bit by almost 1% down to that 2-year key level. That's really where I was expecting us to kind of land. Since then, we've got 4-hour candles here. We broke back above the yearly key level right here. So far, holding it as support. Really want to look to this as support for the short term here. This range high would be the next level. If we break back into this range again, then I'd be looking lower. But between these two areas right here, I'd be looking to flip these, regain these as support, and then we'd be looking back up. We do have an untapped weekly pivot up here as well, about $3,300. We got the April open. Is what I'd be looking for ETH's next stop, just about $3,300. This would align well with Bitcoin, running it back towards its untapped weekly pivot as well, up at about that 43.7. So that's where I would kind of tie the two of those into. We do have the DXY just punching higher and higher. Yeah, Doge right here, right, coming to support at the monthly open. Really struggling to get over this point of control. I would imagine if we do flip that point of control, then we'd be looking higher again. But like I said, in the short term, not looking too great. GMT, just a random fib pull here, right? We have hit the 1.618 as far as a fib extension goes on GMT. This is that new coin, step in or something. I would imagine if we don't clear over this 1.618, then we would see a substantial pullback from here. This coin has gone up pretty much, let's see, almost 500% in the last few days. So this is very similar to a Waves, a Zilliqa, things of that nature. And like I said, coming into the 1.618, very similar to how Waves and Zilliqa did as well before they took that pullback. So not the first coin I'd be jumping into by any means. And like I said, the 1.618 right here would almost be actually an ideal area to consider a short. Stop loss just above, of course. And yeah, looking for a reaction out of that to get a pullback here. Got H-bar. Just posted this one in the group today, actually. Well, I post it often in the group. But possibly re-accepted into this range right here, right? So losing it at the moment still. So really just want to see this range low reclaimed. And that's just about at this 19,845. So pretty much where we are now. We're losing it at the moment as far as that would go. But, seeing this range reclaimed here for H-bar, would imply that we would rotate this range once again. Range high coming in about 26 cents. So that's about a 30% move here. Once again, you'd want to see this range low, basically, broke above, held as support. You can put a stop loss below if you'd like. But that would be, like I said, just about a 30% move from range low to range high. We've got Luna, right? Came down, just about tagged that daily level right below, broke out of the quarterly range right here, back into the March range that we were in for quite a while over here, just barely holding on to this point of control. So at the moment, as long as we hold that point of control about $94, it's 93.93, so pretty much where we are right now. I would be looking up. This range high just come in about $98, and then from there we start tackling back into these previous highs. Lose that level, and I'd be looking back down towards this previous high and this yearly open by $85. Fear. Haven't seen Fear. I did actually just post Fear, though. So Fear, basically same deal. Ran it up, re-entered this previous quarterly range here, ran it down to the point of control, got a support bounce from there. And for Fear, I mean, this is just such a small cap, high risk at this level that there's not too many levels in between here besides this point of control, this monthly open, and the range high. You could go through here and say, maybe this level right here would come in as resistance, about 44 cents, so another 10% move from here. But aside from that, really nothing up until the monthly open. Range high, 56. Obviously, you lose that point of control. You got your range low below. You lose that range low, and then obviously we're going lower. But yeah, I just want to kind of come on and just kind of get a brief update here for Bitcoin, really. Just like we said, we basically broke. We've been in this range, right, since January 5th. And for anybody that's been around over the last few months, I've covered this range pretty in depth. Magic Internet Money and myself, he's covered it in more detail than I have in the group and on his live streams as well. We do have a members-only market update coming out tomorrow in the group at 9:30 p.m. So for anybody that's interested in joining the Leading Crypto Discord, the link is in my homepage here on TikTok, in the description here on YouTube. You can join here. You'll have access to all of my altcoin updates, Magic's Bitcoin updates, our member-only market analysis, which is every Wednesday and Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It is recorded and put here exclusively for members. We've got a ton of other, channels here as well for everybody to go through. You can post your charts. We have a ton of other traders here constantly posting altcoin and Bitcoin updates as well. We've got an order flow and open interest specialist, as well as, how-tos on how to understand and read and utilize that information as well here in the Academy. So for anybody that's interested, do consider joining that. But yeah, so I mean, we literally came down, tagged this range low perfectly, right? The max fear was striking at this moment, right? And this is one of those times where it was, at least in the short term here, definitely an area where you wanted to get involved. The altcoins as a whole all pretty much took a bounce from that area as well. And for now, really wanting to see this point of control reclaim. So really want to see this 42K level, broke above, held above, at least 4-hour candles. Beautiful to see a daily. And then from there, we're still really not out of the woods yet. Essentially, all we're doing right now is exactly what we've done, right? We're going to rotate this range, right? We go from the range high to the range low to the range high to the range low to the range high to the range low. Broke back into this range. What do? Go to the range low, bounce from there. Essentially, our main target is going to be this point of control coming in here right about 42K. We flip that. Our next target is that range high. And unless we actually break that conclusively, 4 hour to close, really want to see some high time frames, 12 hours a daily, obviously, then that still remains to be that next major area for me personally. So I'd be looking for that to break, and if we do break above this 44.5, then that's a pretty good case to start getting bullish again, right? So I know many are looking at this as a huge bear flag in the instance, right, of kind of tagging it up like this, right? And to me, I think that it's gonna, in that case, most will not get, bullish again until we get that break to the upside. I suppose that, whatever works for you, but realistically to me, we break this range high, and then we take out this $47,700 level, right, which we've been talking about for quite some time, Magic Internet Money specifically. Once again, if you're not following him, he's the other analyst in the trading group. He's on TikTok and YouTube as well. Amazing analyst, amazing trader. Give him a follow, Magic Internet Money. Let's see here, some key levels, right? Our line in the sand that's going to send us back to 60K is this yearly key level, 47,700. If you break above this key level on a closing basis, daily especially, to me that would be your cue to 100% anticipate, not 100%, but you could highly anticipate, going back to see some 60K levels and possibly even all-time highs. So this would be that level though, 47,700 on a closing basis, and I would suggest a daily. So that would be the, here we'd get a little heads up, I think, looking at this range high getting broke. Really getting, on a bullish measure once we start closing a daily above this yearly key level. And then, of course, everybody's going to FOMO in or funnel in if you manage to break out of this bear flag that everybody's been looking for, which is going to put you about 50K basically by the time everybody else starts getting excited. It's not necessarily going to be too late by any means, but you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity. Realistically, this would have been the great area to enter, right? Granted, you can have your stop loss set in place below there just in case we do fall below that. As far as going to the downside, there is obviously always the option of that. So you start breaking below that range low, that 38.6, and really the level to watch below that is 37,700. Then we got other things to worry about. So until that really starts to occur, though, don't over worry yourself at this point. Right now, you are coming into resistance. However, over here, right, we were looking for that 38 area. Just a ton of, from this level the other night, not everybody, of course, but multiple have been doing really well on some of these trades. These are leverage trades, of course, so some of the spot trades obviously you can't show, but looking for that $38,500 range low was pretty key in making a nice little move here, while most are just still looking for 36,000, 35,000. This one's actually pretty fun, right? And a couple others there, but it's to me this is pretty cut and dry at the moment, that we'd be really anticipating at the moment to continue higher. Obviously you are at resistance, so you would have to pay attention to the rejection or a rejection off this level. Like I said, zooming into this, I'm going to take off this little channel here because I just don't know, I don't think that's necessarily what we're in personally, but that is where most are looking. But we did get this perfect bounce off this range low, right? Came perfectly into this now just quarterly point of control, not NPOC. That's where we've gotten our rejection from so far. And from here, looking for a pullback, if we start losing this range low, obviously, we're going to start looking a bit lower here. You start breaking that $37,700 level, then we got bigger problems to worry about. But until then, essentially, we're probably going to just rotate this range once again. Head back up to the range high, about 44,500. At this point, we'd want to see the reaction of that. If we get rejected right here, well, then assume we're coming back down. Pretty much real simple levels to watch here for Bitcoin. Like I said, in the interim, right, we get above this point of control. We do have some speed bumps along the way, right? We got that quarterly key level that we just put in place, monthly key level we just put in place. So I would be looking for, some short-term speed bumps right here. And this monthly key level right here does correlate pretty well with our pivot, right? As you see it popping up right there. So this area right here for me, I would imagine, if we do punch up past this point of control, that would be the next major stop, right? About 43.6, 43.7, maybe come back down, retest this point of control as support, pay attention to see how things react at that point, and then we'll see where things go from there. That range high is going to come into play, of course. Now that we've actually taken out, I say taken out, but now that we've actually met the range low, it's not as... I was looking for more, when we were back at this point right here, I really didn't anticipate just going straight down at the time. Right, let's see. We were actually at Magic Internet Money, myself, Max, we were watching this move pretty much unfold live the other night. And as this move came down, like perfectly come down, there were so many shorts piling in right at the low, which, obviously always tends to ends up in that short squeeze scenario. I was looking for the key level here. So the other day we were holding pretty well right here, right before we took down to that 38, and that was that 2-year key level. So at the time we got, I don't remember what it was, maybe it was this pump right here, and I was looking for, if we did clear this point of control at that time, I was really anticipating running it up towards that monthly key level, that monthly pivot or weekly pivot, and if we got a rejection there, possibly running back down to the range low. But since we've already gotten the range low at this point, to me, it's just at the moment, at least right now, obviously we're running into the resistance, so there's nothing set in stone. But if we do clear above this point of control on a closing basis, I would imagine we're going to rotate to the range high, right? So get up to that 44,500. Like I said, obviously we'll have to see how things react at that point. I think that everybody and their mother is extremely cautious right now and trying to short and trying to, assuming that the market's going to go lower. Very well could, obviously. The validation for that for me would be come back down and break these lows. Once again, we discussed this on every live stream, on every members live stream as well, right? Like right now, we're dead set in the middle of the range, right? Take this off here, and we'll even, I'll come over, whatever, I'll highlight it. And this is pretty much our range as a whole, right? You got your low, you got your high, you got your point of control. We're dead ass in the middle, and you already know what I'm about to say. Magic Internet Money's, I think he's got it tattooed on his chest. We don't diddle in the middle, right? So at this point, it's not too late, but you can't start planning right now. You have to be planning as we're entering into these levels, as we're coming into this, major resistance level. This yearly key level up here, Magic Internet Money, the other analyst in the group, gentleman that's in the chat right now, he's pointed this level out for, the whole year so far, so 4 months. It so happened to be just where the 200 moving average came in, as the time came, but we were expecting and anticipating this level for months, easily, hands down. So when we did not clear that, did not reclaim it, got the rejection from it, we knew that we were probably coming down. We also left a ton of levels right here beneath this range high, essentially. And then when we re-entered that range on a daily closer, we knew we were going to rotate this bad boy down. And that's exactly how we've been trading over the last few weeks here. Many will say this has been manipulation. The best one is that this was taxes, right? If you feel that because millions of people across the globe paid their taxes with their crypto yesterday and then immediately bought up the dip, that's just. And that's fine, I guess, if that's what you like to believe. But just want to say that this, nobody in our group lost sleep over this move here, right? But like I said, at this point, now we're in the middle. So, entering longs, not a good move. Entering shorts, not necessarily a great move, right? Yeah, you could get a rejection from here and come back down, and essentially, yeah, that could be a good short. But you're in the middle, right? You could get a wick straight up, get you out of your position. You can get a drop down, get you out of your position. It just, you really want to be taking your main trades down here at the range low or at the range high. So regardless, we re-entered this range, cycled it down. We're coming back up. We're at our point of control, essentially. From here, you really want to see the reaction at this point. Heading back up to the range high, in my opinion, if you reclaim this point of control, very possible to get a rejection and head down, right? That is where we are, right? It definitely is going to be, could go up, it could go down. But when we came down to this level, it was a very high probability we were going to see a bounce from there, right? So right here, you really do have to pay attention to see the reaction at this point. So I think that everybody's trying to short. I think that everybody's really fearful still. That's just all thinks. So take that for what it's worth. I see, a lot of people in the last few days starting to short the market, starting to make how-to videos on how to short the market, literally at the lows. So, take that for what it's worth, right? And at the end of the day, everybody and their mother is looking at this as a huge bear flag. So, take that for what it's worth. But regardless, we have our validations and our invalidations, and at this point, looking for this point of control to get reclaimed, and we're looking up. Otherwise, we would be looking back down to this range low, essentially. We do have our 2-year key level that comes in as some support about that 39.9. That is also our yearly range low, right? Looking at the entire year. Right, we got our 2-year key level coming in right here, and then we've also got that as the entire year's range low, give or take, around that 39K level. So major support coming in there. Yeah, crypto still does close daily candles, weekly candles, monthly candles, just for your information there. It just immediately continues, right? It doesn't have a, stops at 5 p.m. So here for me, the daily closes at 8 p.m., right? Switching over to a daily time frame here. These are all day candles here, right? So this daily candle right here was all we needed to know that we were going to rotate this range all the way down on the 6th, right? Got our wick down here. You start closing it daily, right, down below these levels for that person, and we're probably going to see some lower levels, right? Probably going down to 30s, 28, 27, everybody's doomsday levels there. But yeah, next daily candle will close in about 2.5 hours. Yeah, right there, 2.5 hours. All right, so that's pretty much my update here. Like I said, this is on YT for anybody that wants to go back and watch this. Went over a few altcoins really quickly, tried to make it a pretty brief update to keep it kind of short here on the time-wise. This is TradingView for the platform. For anybody wondering how much to join the group is, it's $59. There is a free portion as well. Once again, in here, Leading Crypto, right? You'll have access to all of my altcoin updates. You'll have access to Magic's Bitcoin analysis, which hands down is the best Bitcoin analysis you're ever going to come into contact with. We have our members market-only updates here, which are Wednesdays and Sunday nights, where we go into a full in-depth market update, which has in the past has included the entire walk down from 52,000 on Christmas Eve, from 52,000 down to $33,000 low, before any news of invasions or anything like that was even whispered, from the $33,000 low to the technically $48,000 high, and then what to expect from there. We have an academy where we basically teach you all the resources and tools that we use daily, so you can understand and utilize the tools and create your own charts as well. And then we have a slew of other channels where members only, everybody can just pretty much chat and chart, Bitcoin only, right? So everybody can come in here and put their Bitcoin charts there. You got altcoin chats, members only chat, money shots. You got a whole area of books as well. So for anybody that becomes a member, you have all these books that you can download, keep them as your own. For anybody that's interested in bookworm. But yeah, aside from that, that's pretty much the update. I mean, once again, I've been covering this range literally since January 5th. So we did have that breakout right here, ran it up to the yearly key level, got the rejection, and back in, cycled it down. At this point, we're just looking for another run back to the range high. Next area to really tackle is going to be this point of control, about 42K. Pull back from here, I'd be looking for this yearly key or 2-year key level, possibly the range low. And you start closing dailies right below these areas right here, then more than likely we're heading down. So real simple levels to watch, 4 lines. Hope you all having a great day, afternoon, night, morning, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Until next time, cheers.